Good evening, everyone. It is time. It is Wednesday night. No better night except for Friday nights, sometimes Saturday nights and Sunday nights, but Sunday nights are iffy sometimes, depending on it's Monday the next day. So, anyways, happy to win. Welcome to Wednesday. That's the word. Have it in here. Hello, mid-season bye. That's right. Cam is away for a week, 2 weeks. I think he's back next Thursday, Friday to stream our next set of games for the SFLM. He's away enjoying some time, a well-deserved honeymoon time. He got married last November, and it's a great time to be able to let him go and enjoy a little bit of off-season. He does so much for us here at the league. Excited for him to be out there enjoying time. Anyways, it is episode 9. We're at this. We're getting into the groove of things, and I think we're going to get even more into the groove tonight. So yeah, that's without a doubt, without any waiting. Welcome, Daniel and Derek. Good evening to the fine gentlemen that we have here.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Who's ready to have some drinks and maybe some questions in the future?
Yeah, Derek, you're doing good tonight. I don't know if you're muted.
He's already drinking. See,
I am muted because I'm already drinking.
There you go. I was trying to hit
I
that
said
button.
cheers. Cheers is what I said.
Oh, awesome. Good. Cheers to you. Cheers. All right. So, but we've got, before we get too far into a little shenanigans, we typical. Yes. Thank you, Angela. Perfect. Before we get too far into things, we've got some great people to talk to tonight. So we have with us here the one, the only T to Queen is here. Along with her, we have Ty Patak, quarterback for the Tacoma Grizzlies as well, fellow Grizzly. And then we have Ronnie Shanahan from The Flight joining us as well. A triplet, a trio, three people.
I like the train talk. Keep going. You got it. You got this.
Menage. No, we're gonna stop there.
That's after dark. That's in like half an hour.
There you go. All right. So we're gonna start with some questions for the three of you. Welcome. To the three of you. We're going to start with T. Go from the top, work our way down, work our way back up, back and forth. Tell us a little bit about yourself, T to Queen. Who is T?
Well, for those that don't know me, my name is Teresa, and I'm married to Doug Day.
Well, that's awesome.
I grew up in St. Louis, in the metropolitan area, so I bleed blue in the winter and red in the summer. I moved to San Diego when I was in my early 30s, where I met and married Doug. And we now live in Oklahoma and have 3 cats.
That's awesome.
I'm retired. I was lucky enough to accumulate enough service credits through civil service, and I retired early. So I have tons of time on my hands. Let's see, I have 2 boys from a previous marriage. My youngest one played JV football, and his number was 17, so that's where I took it from.
Wow.
So I'm using his number. And I'm not a witty person, but I love to listen to people banter. And if something comes out of my mouth that's funny, it's seriously by accident.
That's awesome. Well, good. Well, thank you for coming here. I know you're a little bit nervous. Shake that off.
You can hear it in my voice. I hear it in my voice.
It's all right.
90% of what I say is accidental as well, and people still laugh, so it's all good.
We're all a big happy family here, so welcome to into the fold, T. All right. So Ty, for sure, you bet. Happy to have you here. Ty, I'd love to hear from you a little bit about yourself. Who is Ty Patak?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. I live in a small town about 45 minutes south of Chicago. Born and raised in Illinois, but from day one been Minnesota Vikings fan, so got that curse.
Gotcha.
Not much too crazy. I work basically dock work at a DC.
Cool. At first, I was like, "Wait, you seem pretty inland for to be working on the dock," but I didn't know exactly when. Then it took me a second when you said DC. I'm like, "Wait, what? What does that stand for?" Distribution center, is that right? Okay, cool, gotcha. Makes a lot more sense now. I just imagined you like in a Gorton's fisherman kind of get up, all yellow, like a rubber duck or something. But, anyways, well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for. We'll get back to you with some more questions. We've got Ronnie as well. Ronnie Shanahan. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Who is Ronnie?
Hey guys, glad to be on the show. Well, I'm was born here in Houston, Texas. So I'm live here in the beautiful city of Houston. Now, man, I got a beautiful wife. We got 5 kids. Yeah, got 5. 3 boys and then 2 girls. We just had 2 twin boys, so I was
Wow,
excited about
that doesn't happen often. No.
it actually skipped my sister, so I kind of got the twins, the family. Uh, what else? See, I'm an operator at a chemical plant here in Channelview, Texas. Work at the Lyondell facility. I check the piping line up, stuff like that here at the plant, and then I load and unload, tanker trucks and rail cars, good stuff like that.
Cool.
Deal with a bunch of yeah, I remember deal with a bunch of flammable chemicals.
Well, I hope you're safe. I'm sure that there's a lot of procedures and things that you've learned how to keep safe. So.
Oh yeah. There's we got a lot of procedures we got to do. A lot of PPE. That's it's protective equipment we got to wear. Gloves.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean it's a mess, but hey, it pays the bills.
That's good. And I'm happy to have a job myself through the pandemic and things. So I'm glad to hear that things are going well for you. So Ronnie, tell me a little bit about your SFLN journey so far. What has it been like since you joined? If I remember right, I remember seeing you in Gen Chat a couple times, hoping, crossing your fingers, waiting to see if you could snag one of those wide receiver spots. And then you eventually just joined as a maybe your second choice or maybe it wasn't a close second. It probably might have been a far second, but free safety.
That was my first choice. I always enjoyed, wanting to be a wide receiver. I kind of like to, be out there, be the one out there, catching the ball, getting the touchdowns and, gaining all those yards. It just dinged in my head. No, man, let me go ahead. You know what? That's the first time. Let me go ahead and play defense. Let me go ahead and give that free safety spot a shot. So that was my second choice, and I went ahead and picked it. And they threw me on the San Jose flight, which is a lot of good people there, and I really do enjoy being on that team. And I'm gonna get those progression points done every week. Get out there and train, and try to do really good for my defense.
That sounds awesome. You're in good company here. Both Daniel and Derek are safeties, so
Okay.
they have a good history there with being in that backfield. So
Yeah, you can still catch balls as a safety.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good to know actually, because last season, before this season, I had trouble catching balls. Now I'm just good with it.
You can even score touchdowns unless your name is Eddie.
Yep.
I'm just kidding, Eddie. I'm just
Eddie,
kidding.
Don't look at this. Don't watch this, buddy.
Sorry.
No, that's kind of reason why I picked free safety. That's my second choice. That way I can, be out there too. Get interceptions and just stop the offense from scoring, all that good stuff. And
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
catch
Yeah.
an interception, hopefully run back for a touchdown. That'd be nice.
There you go. And if it's not, I feel like you, the safeties themselves, that they have that name for a reason. You guys are the safety net for that defense to keep those points off the board for the opponent. So important role. We'll move on to Ty. Ty, tell us a little bit about your SFL journey. I know it's a little interesting or a little different than most people.
Well, as far as the SFL part, I was waiting around looking for a QB spot to open up. And then, I don't know, probably 5 weeks went by and I was like, all right, I just want to get on a team at least. So then I went with a safety, got put on Albuquerque. And then probably, a week or two before the SFL season started, quarterback spot opened up in Tacoma, RIP Bear. And I jumped on the opportunity to get that. So far it's been, can't really ask for much better play out of 2 weeks of progression for those first few weeks. But basically I've been around SFL since somewhat the beginning. I've checked in back and forth with Cam because I was in the Waffle, which is the WAFL preceding the SFL before we shut that down. And when Cam used to do Backbreaker, was part of the league. And he would be the all-time quarterback for both teams. That was a trip.
Wow. That predates my knowledge itself of the SFL. So kudos to you. That's pretty cool to hear a little bit about that. So, and yeah, it sounded like, if I remember right, you switched positions from Albuquerque to the Tacoma right before the preseason game for Albuquerque, so you didn't even get to see your player on the field until week 1. Is that right?
That is correct. Bit of a bummer, but I knew I wanted to be a quarterback, so took the chance when I got it. Yeah,
and again, just like Ronnie, he's waiting for that chance to get into there as a wide receiver. So it is possible if you wait it out and keep your head on a swivel for that. T, tell us a little bit about your SFL journey. Obviously, we know Doug's been around for a while, and why now did you join? And how have things changed since you joined to where you're at right now?
Well, of course, it was Doug that brought me in for nearly 3 years. He'd be watching his games, and he'd be like, you want to do this. You want to hear them call your name. You want to see yourself catch that ball. And I'd be like, nope. I know nothing about football. So I'm like, no. And then some curse words, no. And finally, he just wore me down. And in January, he talked me into doing it. And I, because I'm not very social, I was more worried about being active in chat and all that, because I always hear everybody saying, well, you got to be active in order to get picked. Yes, I want to be picked, but if they don't want to pick me because of my player, then I'm okay with staying in the minors. But I'm really enjoying it. I've been in here since, like I said, in January when they first opened up. I was the first person.
Awesome. I remember that.
I feel I have grown so much out of my comfort zone, to where now I am chatting. I'm kind of like the mama bear in the locker room.
Awesome.
I'm always, telling these guys, progress, and it's like when we had our loss, I'm like, shake it off. We learned from it. Now we're going to, go out there and win. And then, of course, keep them pumped up when we do win. So I'm really enjoying myself.
Yeah, as you're describing it, not being a social person, quote unquote, I wouldn't have guessed that. You seem fairly adept at chatting, and actually, I feel a similar way. Yes, I have a show. if you met me, I'm like the most wallflower kind of person. So it's just sort of like I'm playing a role of Axel Raven, doing this thing. Much like how you're probably playing, putting a little mask on of like T to Queen in the chats, etc. And then it's just like, oh no, this is the real me back here. But I get to have a little fun, dip your toe in a little bit, and have an alias a little bit. So I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's working out. Like I said, if I know you, I mean, I'll talk all day with you. It's just getting myself out there to be known. It's like I don't want all eyes on me.
Yeah,
So.
I understand that. Curious about if you have any favorite moments or memories from since you joined in January in town. Now, was there like a certain play or a certain win or something that really stood out to you?
It was the preseason game.
Okay.
The preseason game. Doug and I were sitting there. He woke up. He got up early to watch the game with me, and we were sitting there, and roughly about 19 minutes into the game, I caught the ball. I turned, and I'm pushing on Doug, saying, "That's me! That's me! That's me!"
That's awesome. I remember you. Yeah, you got that touchdown. You sure did.
Yes, and so after that, I think caught hook, line, and sinker.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Ty, back to you. Similar question. Do you have any certain favorite moments or one that stands out to you in your time here so far?
I enjoyed beating down Lexington a little bit. No shout out those guys, but I mean, it's always fun to put up points. And the thick six is just can't beat that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you guys came out of the gate really strong in week one. So that's that doesn't happen to many teams, and so that's something. And I think especially after last year or last season, with Tacoma having like at the beginning of last season feeling like they were going to be the ones to beat to sort of go limp through the last season, to see them coming out of the gate as a fellow alumni for the Grizzlies. It's great to see, and seeing Jalen and Zach over on the team, and Reno and that whole crew sort of stepping up and having a lot of fun over there. That's awesome. Ronnie, do you have a certain favorite time so far? I know you haven't been on a team for a terribly long time, but you have been in the server. Is there anything that stands out as like a sort of a favorite, memorable moment?
Well, actually, I think the really, I mean, just getting in there and just getting in the chatting with the people that are in there, getting to know everybody and stuff like that. But since I've been on the team, I gotta say the best moment really is, man, is coming back and beating Lexington. Man, I know they went up on us 14-0 on the first half. Jordan, he kept the calm, came back. The defense was out there to help stop Lexington and put more points up. Yeah, we came back. We came back and beat them. And then Cannon getting that winning field goal, man. I mean, that was, even though he's new too. I think that would have been a cool moment to see somebody new like that coming in, just like me.
Yeah.
Winning that game for us, and us coming back and winning. The finish going.
Yeah, to have that be like one of your initiations into the SFL, to have a game like that be your first, that's a pretty my heart was beating out of my chest during overtime during the end of the game there. So kudos on that. Daniel, do you have any questions for this trio?
I always do, but we'll keep it a bit lighthearted this time. We won't go into hard quests or nothing. We're having fun today. It's midweek, right? It's bye week. We're having a little fun. Ronnie, I'll ask you a simple question. What's it like being in a community of the San Jose Flight that has a lot of outgoing people? Like Jordan Sipe was here just previous week talking about the team and how great it is. Just give us more about that.
Yeah, I mean, good question. Yeah, a lot of them. Like I said, Jordan, he's a good quarterback. He's in there, in the locker room, chatting to everybody, popping everybody up. I mean, really, all the guys like that team. It's just being with this team is just, man, it's awesome. So everybody's real friendly. They do chat a lot, group around, stuff like that. Just actually, get the opportunity, to be with this team. Minors, it's pretty neat, man. I really enjoy being with this team until I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah, the community is definitely one of the best things I find with this here as well. It's what really brought me into it. So it's really good to see that other people are having the same experience, even though that I'm not necessarily in the minors anymore, but the experience is still continuing on. Ty, buddy, pal, people think there's a curse going around me about losing quarterbacks and people. Can you please tell them that since I picked you, you've been 2-0 so far still? So the curse is not a thing, right, Ty?
Absolutely not. That's why I threw my name out there to sign on. I don't believe in none of that. Not too superstitious or anything. Figured we could throw it on. We go out there, take care of business, show them wrong.
And you guys are doing fantastic. I'll say at the beginning of the season, I didn't think Tacoma had the firepower, but you guys are really lighting up. And not even with just Kaufman, T the Queen. I'll get to you now in a second with your question, but T has been lighting up too. You guys are just rolling on all cylinders. It's really good to see.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of just float through the game off whichever one of them gets open. Pretty simple. And William, as our third wide receiver, has been coming along real nice as well.
Definitely agreed. T, how you doing? You're still one of my favorites. Don't worry. I'm not going to bite with my question. Very simple. We're just going to ask about Doug a little bit, and because he cursed my brother into loving Twinkies, can you let Doug know that waffles are better? Just say it out here right now.
Waffles are better.
Thank you very much.
I love waffles.
Oh, waffles are the best, aren't they? They're just
Yes,
so
they
good.
are. I prefer waffles over pancakes any day.
We have a tradition, or me and actually used to have a tradition in Tacoma that every game day we'd sit down and have waffles. So we do it every game day now.
Okay, starting Friday or next Friday, waffle time.
There you go, waffle time.
Waffles.
Derek, do you have any questions?
I do. First, T. So you said you really didn't know anything about football before this started. Have you learned more about football?
I am learning football. I know the defensive and the offense, and I know kind of what players on which side. But sometimes it's hard for me to find on the defense side, the cornerbacks and the free safety and the strong safety on who they are on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're in the back, but I don't know where they would be.
Yeah.
At least, I mean,
I'm learning.
At least you're learning. I mean, it shows commitment.
Every day.
Running. If a wide receiver position opened up, would you take it?
Yeah, but if one did pop up, I probably would maybe think about taking it. But got a lot of good guys on our team, and got being a wide receiver. But that's a good question. I may take it, or I may just stay as free safety, and be there to help out the defense. I may just play that role of.
That's good. Ty, I have the hardest question for you, Ty. Will the Vikings ever win a Super Bowl?
Come on now. I hope so.
Don't worry, my wife's a big
act like I see it, but
my wife's a big Vikings fan, so I had to give you crap too.
I pray for her.
Hey, Derek cheers on the Patriots, so
yeah.
Hey, what's wrong with the Patriots here?
Yeah,
nothing.
You got two people here.
Nothing.
You're outnumbered here.
Anyways, anybody? Do either of you have any other questions? I'm all tapped out.
I'm good.
All right, so we're going to give each one of you a chance to sort of give your last little statement if you want. A lot of times we have GMs and owners watching either live or recording, whether that's on YouTube or Twitch. In the future, as the draft nears, they might be like, "Hey, T was on this show. That means go learn a little bit about her before reaching out, etc." So, T, do you have anything that you'd like to say to any GMs or owners watching right now?
Well, I want to be on a team, but I know that I have to grow in order to get a wide receiver 1 or 2 spot. So, if with my value being just the beginning, if I can slide into a 3 and over the years with my progressions and grow, eventually I can slide up into a 1 or 2 spot. So,
Cool.
just somebody to grow with me. That's what, I want to grow with the team and, vice versa. We just grow together.
That sounds awesome. I love that feel of. I mean, first you come off very humble and like, yeah, I'm willing to sort of come in and do what I need to do, be there to support the team, seem like a really solid team player, and willing to put in the work, put in the effort, put in the progressions. So
Yes, Doug says that I don't realize how good of a player I really am. And I'm like, just me trying to do the best that I can, not miss a progression and like I said, do the best that I can and
yeah, well, you're doing
somebody
good.
will like me.
Yeah, you're doing good,
Thank you.
and making progressions. That's hugely important, and just simply being there to a kind, supportive person in the locker room is that's as much as any owner, any GM, any team could ask for in a player. So that's
Right.
awesome.
And then I also want to, give a shout out to you and Daniel because I watch the show every week and listening to you guys with your easygoing personalities and your positivity is what brought me to the show today. So
Awesome.
thank you.
You bet. Thank you. And I hope this isn't the end. I hope this is you're willing to come on for it'd be great to talk with you again. So you've been a great interview. So, and Derek, we can leave him beside. We don't need to talk about Derek.
No.
He's already in the doghouse. It's already confirmed.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Derek wasn't in there at the beginning, so he's a very nice guy from what I've seen on the show. Hopefully, as I get deeper into this, that I can get a relationship with a lot of people. So
Absolutely.
I am going to the convention, so I can't wait to meet a lot of people, and I think that will be an icebreaker for me.
Definitely. I find it so much easier to meet people face to face too. So it's nice to, and it's sort of like I guess a social event, but not like I can watch people might come up to me versus me to them, but still it's sort of a nice environment. So awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Ty, offer you the same type of same type of thing. Is there anything you'd like to say to any GM or owner out there that are watching?
I mean, of course, I'd love to be drafted. I understand that pretty fresh off this being my first season, got a lot of progressing to do, but got a good eye on how to build a playmaker. I have the game. I've been running sims on different values of which way to progress against different higher level values. I've been an owner in the WAFL that Cam ran for a while, so I've seen some of that side. I've had my own spreadsheets of salary calculations and getting all the players to fit. So I think I'd be an asset. I've been bugging Axel already about different coaching parts, about how this works, how that works, trying to mess with different game mechanics.
Yep, you've asked questions beyond what normal rookies or what normal prospects would ask. So I was like, oh, nobody's asked that before. Let me dig up the rule book and like make sure that I'm saying it accurately. So you can tell that you're hungry and that you're passionate. And it sounds, like you said, unsuspectingly, you have a lot of history here and in the football sim league with APF and things. So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, it was with the Minnesota franchise, but it doesn't look like I'll be able to get that going.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ty, for joining us tonight. Ronnie, same question. Is there anything you'd like to share with any GMs or owners that are watching right now?
Yeah, yeah. To all the owners out there, yeah, I would honestly, I would be honored to come, play with any team that needs help. Practice every week, get those progressions done week. I'm there to help the team out, win games, push that team to the championship, make it to the playoffs. I mean, I would. I mean, I would like to play in hometown, but at this point, I'll play with the team.
Mm-hmm.
Be that, that star for that team.
Yeah, that's awesome. It is nice having like you said, you're being from Houston, having a SFL team directly in your hometown. That's not something that's, I guess that's only something that 28 cities across the United States and Canada and I guess the world can say. So that's pretty lucky to be there having a hometown team for you. And yeah, whether that comes true in the draft this year, draft next, or this season, draft next season, or in free agency in future seasons. That's something that keep sharing that dream and keep sharing your willingness to help a team out and be that like a pretty selfless supporter for a team is always something that goes over really well. So, well, great. Thank you all three of you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate you coming out here. Putting your anxiety or stress about coming on aside and just sort of stepping out there, being brave. I really appreciate it. I know everybody that's watching, whether that's live or recorded, appreciates it too. Three great players in the minor leagues. I couldn't imagine a better community, and you guys are part of it. You guys are what makes that tick. So I appreciate what you're doing and have all the faith in the world that you guys are going to have some great futures. So
Thank you for having me.
you bet. Don't be a stranger.
Nope, not anymore.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Good night. Yeah, Ty and Ronnie, you're welcome to either hang out and listen or go about your evening or tune in Twitch if you want to catch from the viewer side. So, all right, good night to you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Axel.
You bet. All right. So interviews are done. That's one big check on our list tonight. Great group of three people. Really excited to have them part of this. People that we've been, two of them, T and Ty. That sort of sounds funny coming off my tongue. Have been staples since day one of the season. So we've heard their names in different games and we've talked about them. Ronnie, being new, just I believe last week. Another name we're going to probably be saying and talking about as the season continues, all the way up until the championship game and the draft in mid to late June. So that is exciting. Our next thing on the agenda. Welcome to a business meeting. I don't know where that came from. All right. The next thing we're going to be talking about.
PowerPoint presentation.
All right. The value propositions that we have for today's product is last week's games, week 4. Yeah, so we're in this limbo between the first 4 and the last 4 of our 8-week season for the minor leagues. We're treated to 4 great games on Friday, some better than others. And depending on which team you're on, it's some better nights than others. But game 1, we saw Annapolis traveling to Nebraska, taking on the Lincoln Rattlesnakes. Annapolis not doing quite well in that game, but Daniel, Lincoln seemed to look like a slightly different team than before.
I am so proud of the Rattlesnakes for winning 2 in a row and keeping my hopes alive for my pick of the season. But I got a stranger thing to say is the Navigators having trouble. That's 2 in a row now, and they have the best running back in the minor league in Ryan Squirrelbus. Have people figured out how to beat Squirrelbus? That is the question I'm going to leave up to you guys.
I also do know that coaching is hard. Coaching is not easy to do. I mean, the process of it is, once you get that down, it's not terribly difficult to, fill out a playbook and submit that. It's not that hard to run a lot of practice plays and a dozen, 2 dozen sims, but some nights it's not the right night. Like, oh, that's not what came up in my sims. My sims were looking totally different. So I just do know. John Michael said, I have my heart goes out to you. I understand some woes, so keep in there. Anyways, Derek, do you have a take on this game at all?
I don't know what's going on in Annapolis, man. It seemed like, they had a decent amount, not a lot of yards, but they had a decent amount of yards, and to only get 1 touchdown out of that, I feel like they just couldn't finish on every drive. And what hurt him too was Lincoln was no mistakes. So that's going to hurt you in a game. If you're making mistakes and the other team's not.
Yeah, and that's it's can you capitalize on the mistakes and or minimize the mistakes if you're the one making them. So awesome. Game number 2, we saw Tacoma head over to Daniel, why are you pumping your fist? Head over to Madison.
I wonder why, really. I don't know. Maybe because I'm the one that picked Tacoma out of the group last week.
You did. Yeah, and just like what I was just describing around the previous game, my Sims didn't look the way that this game played out, but that's what happens. And you're learning. I was game planning for what they played last week, kind of thing, and what I thought they might be doing, and they did a little different thing, or we just didn't. Weren't as competitive as what we were hoping. I think this last game, week 4 and week 3. For Madison, it's been a higher output. We've seen a lot more passing, and we've seen a lot more productivity out of the offense, which is great. Just not able to complete these drives, or they end a little earlier than we hope. So hopefully we'll come back. We have an extra week this week to game plan, or just simply take a day off and drink a little bit, right, you guys? Anyways, Derek, did you have anything you'd like to say about game 2 with Tacoma versus Madison?
The one thing that stuck out to me the most was neither team could get a run going. I mean, I think it was like 2 yards per carry and like 2-point-something yards per carry, and it was most of that game was on the back of Patak. He played a great game.
That's true. He was hitting Shane. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to add on a little bit. I was going to shout out T because this is I think this was one of T's breakout games for me to watch her play. Her stats was very good across the board, and she's really coming out of her cell as the second wide receiver.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
And the first game that Shane Kaufman didn't have 10 catches.
That might have to do with T making some of those progressions and be able to get open more often compared to week 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So game 3, we saw the Cavalry heading south to Albuquerque to take on the Adams, and the Adams have I was going to say a pretty good night, but at least they won. They got the win out of the way. Daniel, what's your thoughts on this game?
My thoughts on this is I'm just going to put my beer down for a second, pull my fingers up like this, and go, Mickey! He came into play. They're still having trouble getting in the end zone. But, I mean, I think he had, let me do the math real quick. 4 field goals going into that game? So, I mean, he's on fire now, kicking it. And that's the reason why they won. They got in position where Mickey can make these field goals, and it really helped out in the stretch. I really would hope the Adams would get more into the end zone, but I'm hoping that will come over time.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Derek, your take?
The offense of neither team was great, but Ottawa just could not get anything going. And I mean, that's basically what it was. I mean, I think they only had like 30 yards rushing and about 150 passing, They
Okay.
couldn't do anything.
Gotcha. All right, in game 4, the one to beat all other games this week in excitement or heart palpitations. San Jose was visiting Lexington, and that was a nail biter. Lexington came out strong. San Jose caught up, and it went out to the wire. Daniel, what is your take on this game?
So I'm going to talk a little bit before the game because there was a
Yeah.
really nice conversation in our Discord between Mr. Jordan and Ethan Kai about who's going to win. And I'm glad they made a certain bet that someone has to wear a San Jose profile for the week. But it was a really good game overall. It actually went to overtime, I do believe. Don't quote me on that. I believe it did
I think
go to
so.
overtime. So it was definitely a good game to see. I caught the back half, and I'm glad I caught the back half. I was just coming home on the way from the back half. And San Jose was just finding ways to slowly get back in the game. And they're a tough team, top to bottom. They've been playing lights out. And Lexington gave them a run for their money, but the flight, they just flew for the win.
Thank you, Daniel, for that. Along those lines, how did JC Bacon, talking about dad jokes, how did Bacon do to last Friday night?
I wouldn't be able to tell you the stats off the top of my
I
head.
can tell you the stats.
There you
Derek.
go, Derek, you got this.
He only had 14 carries, but 54 yards and 3.9 yards per carry. So his yards per carry were pretty good, but he just didn't get a lot of carries.
Sure. Do you like bacon, Derek?
I love bacon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love all types of bacon except Canadian bacon that's actually just ham. Just more to you, Mitchell.
All right. Well, that breaking announcement. Yeah. So all right. So that sums up last week's games.
I will say also that it was probably Jordan Sipes. To give Lexington some credit, Jordan Sipe probably had one of the worst games he's had all year. He had 3 picks in that game. So to Lexington's credit, they played him very well on defense.
Awesome. It was an exciting game to watch. From the first half to the second half to the extra innings, extra minutes. That's a baseball term. I don't know why I use that on a football show. Anyways, that's why I don't do a show on ESPN. All right, I've been drinking, and it's time. I think it's time. Is it time?
I think it's time. Let's
All
get
right.
it going.
I have. Let's see. I have some audio. So we're gonna get things rocking here. All right. Because it is Minor League Fights and Insights After Dark, baby. Woo! All right, we want to be able to. Hopefully, you brought your own beverage. Time to cheers and have a little bit of fun. We're gonna have some fun. And I'm going to turn down the audio a little bit. All right.
No, we're keeping the audio going. Let's go.
Could you hear it? You could hear it? Okay.
I unmuted just to hear it, baby.
Okay.
Yes, I listened to it and I'm hyped now. You got me hyped.
That is awesome. Okay. Well, we can keep it going, actually. Let me turn it back on.
It could also be the 4th beer that got me hyped too. So
And how
make
many
sure
did you
the
say you have
audio.
ready? You got about 8 ready to go?
well, I got like 5 more here, so we'll see. We'll see where the next however long takes us. So
All right. If people in the chat want to make sure that sounds fine, it's not covering up our audio or anything. All right, we'll keep it going. But if anybody wants to let me know. So yeah, that's time. I have a little bit of a agenda of things that we could talk about, but I do know that we were talking that if the people had any questions, did anybody jump in for questions in the show questions? Daniel?
We had one show question. Deputy Commissioner actually answered it, but also the question anyway. Ron Haynes, tight end for Madison, asked if a rookie chooses to stay in the minors and not be drafted, can a rookie do so? And Deputy Commissioner obviously responded very quickly. Good, kudos. It took only 5 minutes, by the way. He's always ready to go. They cannot, obviously. All rookies are eligible for the draft. If a rookie undeclares from the draft, they lose all their value on the player and position claim they have.
Gotcha. Because the intent is that we want you over into the pros. And if a pro team thinks that they can use you, if they think that they have a spot for you and they can use you, that's sort of their time to have control or a right to say, I want to draft you. and that's the reason that contracts in the SFL are only 1 season. That means if you're not happy, they have. I think Cam always says they have 6 months to convince you that this is the team for you. And if they don't do it, you're free to leave and seek another team and try to make an impact on another team. But by drafting you, they're sort of saying we're getting you for 1 season, and we want to make the best case that this is a spot for you. So that's really how that works, if that makes sense. Again, the intent is to get you guys into the pros and get you guys making a difference out there. This is, the SFLM is fun. It's a development league. It's a place for you to develop as much as you can. But again, if a team sort of wants to move you from the minors to the majors, it's sort of that's what we're wanting for you. So
Yeah, it sounds like it sucks, but at the same time, it's the only time that a team really gets to say. Otherwise, you decide where you're going to go for the most part.
Yeah, and also on top of that, most owners are very good and will ask you if you want to come to this team, and they'll draft around it if you do not. A lot of owners will look to what you want as well when they come to draft them.
Yep.
Cool. I did see that there was somebody, Matthias Citrion, I think, was over in the general chat. We could have jumped in there and chatted with them.
Have fun. Let's shout out right now. If anybody wants any questions, hop in the general chat in the Discord, and we'll hop in with you guys and we'll just talk.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'm wondering, what are you all drinking?
I'm currently drinking Loon Juice.
Oh,
Yes, it is a hard cider, and this is Honeycrisp.
that's one of my wife's favorites. We've got a variety pack downstairs in the fridge.
I was drinking Summit IPA before that.
Cool. Daniel?
Well, normally I'm a big Alexander Keith guy. I like the Indian Pale Ale. But I found whatever was in the fridge today, and that was a Bud Light, so I'm going to drink that for the time being.
Awesome. For me, I've got it's a giant can. It's a Crowler, I think is what it's called. It's from local brewery Rustec Brewing, and it is a Twilight Cove West Coast IPA. Pretty good. I'm drinking it in my other 10K Brewing cup from another brewery. Enjoy some beers, and maybe if things get a little feisty, I've got some Bacardi 8-year good gold rum to put in a glass.
Should we have worn flannels and beanies for this?
Oh, we could have.
No. I'm too Canadian. I have to wear a hockey jersey while I'm drinking. I'm sorry, guys. Gotta be.
For your Bud Light, do you put a little bit of maple syrup in it?
I thought about actually getting a shot glass full of maple syrup just to have a chaser to go with it. With how Canadian I really am.
Awesome. Go for it.
No, I said Matthias went back into general. If you want to go hang out with him and then see what he wants to say.
Sure, let's hop over there. I'm going to. Oh, I just drug myself over. Hey, Matthias, how are you doing tonight? You there? I see you off mute now. But it's not coming through. Oh, yeah. Hello?
There we go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, the volume's a little off. So we
No
were trying
worries.
to do it from phone.
Definitely. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. It's kind of boring without the regular games since it's the bye week and right after the championship, of course. But it gives me more time to work on next week, right?
Absolutely. I like that positive outlook there. Turn into something negative, flipping upside down. I like that.
Trust me.
Did you have any questions for us?
If anything, I just wanted to see how you guys are doing. In a lazy way, so I can present my voice to the audience of hundreds listening, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm doing pretty good. It's I enjoy Wednesday nights. It's I see it as my opportunity to hang out with Daniel and Derek more closely, and then getting to feeling connected with a variety of people. So for me, this is always a fun night. I've never done it drinking, so it makes it doubly as fun, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I work most of the day. So I work most of the day, so it's actually really nice to have a drink and have some time off.
Yeah, I was doing pretty good after the first one, and the second one's better. At 4, I'm doing really good. So yeah.
You're ahead of me.
Well, I thought we were pre-gaming. Actually, you didn't. You said we were pre-gaming.
I'm done with this. I'm halfway through my second pint, so I'm not doing
Okay.
too bad. And it's pints versus 10-ounce cans. So
True.
And it's funny, I'm the odd one out here because I ain't drinking.
oh, grab a glass of water. That's good.
Well, it doesn't help that I can't drink yet, so there's a problem.
Oh, there you
Oh.
go. There you go. So that's a good question. Matthias, tell us a little bit about yourself. Looks like you're a linebacker based on your name in Discord.
Yeah, I'm a interior linebacker with Lincoln. Go Lincoln.
Awesome.
But no, 18 years old, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised. Go every team that supports there. But not funny enough, there's like the 1, 2, or 3 days that I have off from work, so that's great.
Awesome.
I work as a grocery stocker.
Okay. Very cool. Well, cool. All right. Do you have any other questions for us?
No, honestly,
Okay.
I can leave if you want me to.
No, it's all right.
No, don't leave. We're here to have fun. I do have a few questions from the chat.
Okay.
One,
Ooh, chat questions. Let's hear it.
yeah. One said, "Can we expect the Lynx to bounce back next week?" Axel, your friend Ethan Kai is asking that.
Ethan. All right. Love you, bud. Let's see. It's going to be a tough one. I believe, if I remember right, we're coming up against San Jose ourselves after their win against you, and extra time for Greg to game plan and things. Maybe they'll overthink it. I want to say yes, because that's what I'm shooting for. That's what we're going to be putting our effort towards. Every single week. But as we know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. But we're putting in the effort no matter what the outcome is. So, and I think we've got a great team, and we're just waiting for our opportunity to take over a game, and I'm hoping that it is against San Jose. So, I love you, Jordan. Love you, KJ. Love you, Adam. Love you, Ronnie. So, but
Yeah, good. A follow-up question from Soul. Can we expect the Miners to bounce back next week? I wonder where that's from. Maybe a little dig at Ethan Kai just a second ago.
I'm not sure who they. I'll have to look to see who they're playing.
I can look right now. Hang on.
Okay, do it up.
Week 5. Adams. I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say yes as well. As much as I love like Swole, they haven't gotten. Mickey might have a good game. Mickey, but we'll see. I mean, based on evidence so far, I feel like Lexington might click into whatever their defense needs to do to shut down whatever the Adams bring at them. But it's always a crapshoot kind of thing for the games. But
that's all the questions I got. Oh no, we don't want to take off our hat to see how bald we are, because I'm going to lose this. I don't really want to do it. But if you want to see how bald I really am, I'll go for it. It's after dark, after all.
There, I was gonna get proper hat attire for after dark.
Look at this bald head. Look how beautiful it is.
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah. I got the Constanza, I like to call it, from Seinfeld. I got a little hair on the back, and it just spread apart the rest of the way.
Dana's over there showing some skin.
Hey, you gotta get what the ladies like, right?
So,
yeah.
I was doing looking at some stats for the SFLM season, and I noticed there's a couple records that I think could possibly be broken this year. Patak has a little over 1,400 yards. The record's a little over 3,000. I think it's possible. The other one is Jordan Sipe. He has 12 touchdowns right now, and the record's 19.
Wow, that one's close. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's not hope that they get a lot of those touchdowns next week against Madison.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. I think he had 6 touchdowns in the first week, so that really pushed him up big time.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, if Patak has a a couple big, huge games. I mean, we're halfway through. So if you
Yeah.
double 1,400, where he's at 28, and you said it's a little over
Yeah.
3,000. So he's close. Like, if he just
Yeah.
needs to get that offense going.
Yeah, because he had last week, I believe he didn't get 300. He's been right around 300 or more. He had like 500 almost. I mean, one week. So
if he has one or two of those, if he goes to average of 400 with a big 500, he's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That'd be
Jordan
huge.
wants to ask. Jordan got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Thoughts on who wins the minor league championship? If you want me to start, I'll start simple. I picked Lincoln. I'm going to stick with Lincoln. But I love me some Tacoma. I think Tacoma has a shot this year now, after seeing how they have been playing.
So I picked Lexington at the beginning of the season. But the way, like you said, the way Tacoma is playing, I think they got a legit chance. As much as hard as I was on them before the season, they are only going to get better. And I think they are firing on all cylinders right now.
And Axel, do you pick Madison?
So as of right now, yes, because I want to see us get. I think right now the we can go 4-4, not the greatest. That's going to put us, perhaps if things go well, it will allow us to get into the playoffs. Then we'll have to again, as soon as you hit the playoffs, it's sort of like a fresh start. You play until you hopefully you play out, win out. I'm hoping that's what we're shooting for. That's why we got into this, right? Based on evidence of the first 4 weeks, I would say San Jose has the strongest chance, but I do think that Tacoma and Lexington are, right up there. And this last half of the season is going to get interesting as they continue. So that's where I'm at.
Oh, we got a question from Jason Francis. Show questions. Why is everyone but Axel drinking crappy beer? It's what was in my fridge, friends. I'm not going to the store to get something else. I got that liquor, but I figured, beer would do for night. We're after dark. I'm Canadian. We drink beer.
Well, what do you want me to drink? You want me to drink this? You want me to drink this? I got a lot here.
What do you have? Show us all 12 of your cans.
Oh, okay. Well, I think there's like 9 right now next to me, but I got Summit IPA, 21. I got Loon Juice Apple Crisp. I have Voodoo Ranger,
Nice.
New Belgium IPA. I got Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA.
I like a juicy IPA.
I got Voodoo Ranger Experimental IPA. And I got 2 more Loon Juices. I think I got a pear one. And then, I also have Blake's Hard Cider Triple Jam. That's the ones I have.
That sounds delicious. That triple jam.
Is.
Question for you, Derek, and maybe for someone listening in: is Angela going to come on the show sometime? It'd be great to have the two of you.
So she talked about it tonight, about doing the After Dark thing, but she doesn't know the SFLM as much, so she didn't want to speak on that.
Sure.
But I'm gonna talk her into coming on sometime.
Okay.
She's gonna watch some SFLM games with me, and I'm gonna teach her how to do some analyst stuff.
Awesome. Well, let's cheers to Angela.
Let's also cheers to France saying so many IPAs, nauseated face.
Hey, speak of the devil. Good
Hey,
evening.
Angela.
Oh, there we go. She's technically on the show. I did my goal.
He did
Excellent.
his goal. He did his job.
Good. How are you doing, Angela?
I'm doing good. Just watching the show, and I heard my name, so I was like, okay, I should pop in and say hi.
Good. Well, thank you for joining us. You've met your quota now for this season. I think you're scheduled to be on once a season, and you're done.
Okay, cool. I'm good with it.
Okay, cool. I'm curious. Okay, I have a list of things. So far in the first 4 weeks, Daniel, do you have an honorary mention? Do you have someone that you're like, this person sort of, this is sort of someone to watch out for, or someone that has played really well in the first 4 weeks?
Well, I feel like I'm just going to keep going on the Tacoma train at the rate we're going with this. But I'm not going to say the quarterback. We all know the quarterback's been really good. I'm going to say someone that was in here, did an interview, got the courage to actually showcase her talent, showcase who she is as a person. Thank you, T, for coming down. We all suffer a little bit from anxiety in this little household that we call friends, call the community. So it's so nice that have you been part of the family. And, my DMs are open. Talk to me whenever you want. I'm free.
His DMs are open, especially on draft day.
Especially on draft day for one certain meerkat.
All right. Derek, do you have sort of a standout star so far?
So, I want to point out somebody that had I felt like a pretty good game last week, and for Madison, and that is Charlie Baker. Had 11 receptions for 109 yards, and I think they're only going to get better from here.
Mm-hmm. I do know that so much during the games, especially these last two games, Ellis is called a lot, but Charlie Baker, I think, is that sneaky. Charlie's going to be able to get into those spots and has been clutch in very, very many situations. Yep. Ellis, might have the verbal, accolades in the announcement broadcast, but Charlie has got it. I remember last season, I believe it was our first game, and we were down. We needed a touchdown to win. I want to say it might have been like 12 seconds left. Moon threw it. Charlie caught it at the at the 1 yard line and sort of did what Charlie could do to make sure that they were in the end zone, and that won us the game. That was a huge clutch week 1 of last season. If you want us to go see what Charlie can do. I'm thinking, gosh, the Rustlers receiving core, all three of them, I believe. Lottie Lou, I can't remember the second person. And then I think there's Ricky Toolish. At least when I was, I think it was week 3 when Madison was playing them. They had a lights out performance there with, why am I blanking? Kenny Slider, I think, is the quarterback for Rattlesnakes.
Kenny's the main quarterback.
Okay. He had a great game the week before last. So that's someone I think, can do really well in this league. I'm looking forward to see what they might be able to do. Derek, do you have a biggest black horse that you might expect hasn't come into their own yet, but you think they're going to have a good second half of the game or the second half of the season?
As far as the team goes?
Either team or player, up to you.
I honestly think Madison is going to get better. I really do. And I'm not just saying that because I help out Madison, but I really do think that every week I see just small things that I'm like, oh, if they can improve this, they could have a better game next week. And I think I could definitely see them going 4-4.
And I haven't paid you either, so you're saying that of your free volition.
Yes.
I don't believe that for a second. Go Tacoma. What was the question?
Daniel, is Tacoma your black horse? Do you think they're a black horse? And if not, then who is your black horse team or player?
So when we gave our suggestions on who was going to win the season or who would be in the upper echelon, I don't think anybody said the San Jose Flight. And they're currently number 1. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're pretty much a black horse compared to what we thought at the beginning of the season. So I'm just going to give a little shout out to that on the San Jose. I'm going to stop going Tacoma for a while, guys. Don't worry about it. I think Ottawa has been playing really well defensively, and I think they might have a black horse to sneak into playoffs. And if they sneak into playoffs, they're going to be a tough out for anyone that they play against.
I'd have to agree. They look very different than they did last season. And I think, there seems to be a lot of hope, and I think a lot of, every game I feel like they've had a chance, if not that they either won or they felt like they performed pretty well. They just did not win out, kind of thing, or had glimmers of greatness. I'd have to agree with you there. That's awesome. I like hearing that. I know, some of the coaching staff over there and some of the players, I think, been doing really well. And I think they should do pretty well to finish out the season.
What-
Axel, do you want another question? Because I got some questions there. I believe a
Question.
BJ Loveless. You might know him. I'm
I
not
have-
quite sure. He said the rank of running backs in minor league by performance. I want to know maybe why. I feel like there's a real reason to it. You want to rank some running backs?
So far, I mean, obviously, Squarebush has been doing really well. Other than the last 2 weeks ish, I mean, he is great. But he is also a two-way player, already been drafted by Louisiana, so that leaves pretty much everybody else. I feel like Marcus Duncan has a really good running style. He is, I think the highest or other behind Logan Lee, I believe, has a silver, but he also has a one. I think he actually might have two animations. So that does put his value up higher than Marcus, but Marcus has no animations and is the highest attributes type of player behind Squarebush. And I think he's been really running well. He's a balanced back, so it's a slightly different style than a finesse and a power back. I'd say, power backs, which is what Randy Squarebush is, really it's hard to use them up until when they get to gold. And then they start to see some of these big breakout games and you can't take them down and they're just plowing over everybody based on, if you can, run the right type of plays, get them going, either running up through the middle and you've got some good blocking in front of him, or around the side and there's blocking. He can, if you line him up against a cornerback, a defensive back, he's going to be taking out those, just like a plow would. Beyond that, again, Marcus Duncan as a balanced back, their speed and agility is capped a little bit compared to a finesse back. They also have a little bit of a higher break tackle than a finesse back, but not quite as much as a power back. So that's sort of the difference in all the archetypes. They're a little bit harder to get going in some ways. They're not quite as powerful to run right up the middle. They're a little bit speedier than power backs, a little bit not quite as great around the edge as finesse. So it's a little bit of not quite one side or the other, but sort of in that middle. And it's interesting to try to find a way to get them. It's sort of a different formula, if you will. Finesse backs, it seems like you give them the ball, and for the most part, if the defensive line hasn't gotten penetration, they can spin, move, and do a lot of stuff to get out of the way and down the field. Power backs, they're able to break those tackles and no shoelace tackles kind of thing and just plow people over. But that's a long answer. I feel like I'm rambling. Gosh.
You mentioned Jay-Z sizzling bacon.
True. He's also been drafted, so he's not a eligible draft player. He has, especially down in the minor leagues, he's been doing really great.
We had 232 yards or something like that the week before, week 3, like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. Like he can be
Insane.
a huge asset in any game. A good complement to any passer, and he showed that in bits and pieces throughout season 18 for Louisiana with Utah out there. Lost my train of thought. But yeah, I think so it's Squarebush already drafted. I think the next best would probably be Duncan. If there's somebody that's interested, you could always inquire if you'd be willing to switch to a finesse back. I think that would maybe be benefit him, benefit the team. I don't know. It's up to him if that's the kind of player you want to build, kind of thing, obviously. But finesse backs are a little bit easier to get going. And then Logan Lee, I think, is the third best, even though he has a higher value. He has a little bit lower of attributes, but has 2 animations. I'm waiting for Baloo Scott to get going. I think it's a matter of time until she does. I found out from Swole earlier. I think I'd love to get her on the show. She's, I think, the mother of another SFL player. So it'd be great to sort of get. It's great to see another female in the community, as showing how inclusive this community is for people of varying genders, backgrounds, colors, abilities, anything. We super inclusive. I love that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other runners.
Kristen Pierce, I'll throw that name out there for Lexington.
Yep.
Been really good.
He has
pretty
been.
much pretty much the only offense because they lost their quarterback and they've been running the ball ever since, and he's won several games for them.
He is a power back. He has a background. I think he just got married a month ago. I was with him in another the WFA football league. He's pretty involved there, I think, over there. So he's not a unfamiliar name to me. Ethan's been using him really well over in Lexington. Able to get him. He's been plowing over things. I remember seeing him first in Lexington's preseason game. I believe they played Albuquerque against Blue Scott, and he had a pretty good game there. And then so far this season, I think he's been doing decent. Like, you know, especially being a fairly new. Maybe it might have only been 3-4 weeks before the season started that he joined and started able to progress and things. So, yeah. So far he's a great would be a great player asset or good cultural asset, I guess you could say, as well. So you look like you're vibing.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying myself.
So I have a question, Axel.
Yeah.
So going into the season, I heard when we previewing teams and stuff, I heard a lot about Frankie Kutzer. Why has Frankie Kutzer not gotten an interception yet?
I think teams know that he's out there, and I think there's a strength in the rest of the DBs. I think. I almost spilled my drink. All right, I'm going to set that aside for you.
That will be a party foul, sir. No party fouls allowed.
I honestly think that defensive back crew is good enough, and people are shying away from going very deep against the rustlers because of him, and so they're trying to force the CBs to do something. So they're passing a little bit quicker, nothing terribly deep. And, he might be gold. He also has the return specialist. That means, that's adding an extra 5 points to his value that isn't on the field at all during his defensive back play, right? So if he's like 75 or something in gold as a I think he's a free safety. Strong safety. Is he strong safety? I think he's on that one side. The strong safety side. I think, thinking is hard.
He's on the strong safety side. You got it right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Woo. Yes. I think, I think he is sent back as the cover person and isn't up tussling with them as much if they go into man with the one safety back in the far back as I guess a safety. That's what I'm saying. They just haven't targeted him in that back side, and have been trying to put pressure on the CBs that are both sort of on the younger side. I think that's just the softest part of their defensive back crew. So
I agree. I hate when people target my backside.
That's not what I've heard. Boom, boom.
Just took a drink. Don't make me spit it out.
Thanks for the good question so far. Let's see. Daniel, so you tell me more about the history of your curse, and is it just so far this season?
The curse isn't real, guys. Okay? You know what really grinds my gears?
Let's talk about the curse.
I have a curse. I do not have a curse. I picked someone to be the player of the season. He left. It happened. We're moving on. We have Tacoma Grizzlies doing really well. I picked their quarterback. He hasn't been cursed yet. Please, if you're walking outside, please have someone with you if you're crossing the street just in case. Want to make sure everyone's fine in the end. There's not.
Because who'd you pick last year, Daniel?
We don't talk about things.
What'd you pick last year? And how did they do?
We're not talking about anything. And thank you, Ethan. That is a very good point. I am Daniel Reithausen from AEW doing the curses. But no, the curse isn't real. It's not a thing. Please don't make it a thing. Someone save me, guys, please.
If nobody noticed, I'm now wiping up my drink that I spilled. So
a party foul.
On, man.
I'm just not used to having I'm glad that it spilled on my little not the computer, just the Bluetooth keyboard. So if I'm messaging weird stuff in the chat. That's why because I'm trying to dry off my keyboard. Anyways, Daniel, I think it's just bad luck.
I
Not a-
think it's bad
not-
luck too. I think
not a
I think I
curse.
broke a mirror somewhere. I think I broke a mirror somewhere. That's all.
Yeah, you do. You have a black cat that you see every day and sort of walks back and forth. Are you guys excited for the draft? Okay, so if I want to say the championship week, because I think the big championship is on a Wednesday, so I think there's like maybe it's Wednesday and Friday or something like that. That's like a week of the semifinals and the big final game. And then I think it's a week or two, and then it's the draft, and like I'm gonna guess like the 27th, 29th, something like that. I bet. Are you excited about that? Derek, I know you just lived through that around the first of the year.
Let me tell you, I am excited to not have a ball of anxiety inside me the whole time. But it's going to be really cool to have, once I get on a team, to be able to watch the draft and be able to cheer on my team and see who they're picking. Because it's going to be a completely different experience than sitting there and waiting for my name to come and it not coming every time I think it's going to. And maybe I'll be in Daniel's DMs a little less. Maybe not though.
No, you won't be. It's every day.
Gotcha. Daniel, are you excited about? I know last time you were on the longest day 3 broadcast that I can think of.
I think it was 3 hours. I can't remember. It's a bit of a blur at this point. But I mean, being on both sides of the fence, right? I was drafted, and I got to be a draft analyst. I got to talk about the minor league, and it was great. And I'm excited to see it again, no matter what side of the coin I am. Hopefully, maybe I'll be back at the draft analyst booth. I would love to do it again. Though there's going to be more rounds, so please give us time to relax a little bit, because I believe we're going at least 4 rounds, maybe more. I think we're ready for 4 rounds at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see the minor leaguers get their chance to have their Hollywood moment, I like to call it, because not every person gets drafted in life when it comes to sport. This is the first experience many will have during this, and it feels like almost like a real thing. You're super excited. You're a ball of nerves, like Derek says. You're just waiting for your name to be called, and it's such a great experience. And meeting people in I don't know, I can't remember what they call it, but it's the voice chat room.
Green room. Go in the green room. That's my biggest thing I'll tell all rookies. Go into the green room. It's so much fun. It is a blast.
Exactly. Me and Axel were in the green room when we got drafted. It's a great time. You meet a whole bunch of people. It's my first time actually meeting Miles Gibson, who actually got drafted with me in Tulsa that season. And I've been friends with Miles ever since. We were great buddies. We talk in DMs all the time. Those are connections you make just by having a chance to talk with people in the green room while getting drafted. Ain't that great?
Yeah, it's great seeing just like you said, seeing the people that you've been playing with or hearing them talk, and just like we're trying to do here with T and Ty and Ronnie, getting to know these people, the people behind the Discord name, making real people out of them, and that makes it so much easier to connect on a human to human emotional level. And man, I'm getting emotional. I get emotional. I'm an emotional drunk.
Yeah, and I'll say also try to get to the green room a little early, so that way you can actually talk to everyone before everything starts. Because once everything starts, it's every time a pick comes along, everyone's just quiet and watching, and then it gives you a chance to really talk to your guys you're getting drafted with, and it's a good time.
Agreed, and it's just it allows you also to have sort of your moment in the sun again. Whether or not you're an introvert or not, you can. Cam is more than willing to take your your video feed and put it onto as part of the game itself, or as part of the broadcast itself. You cheering yourself on, and maybe you have your family beside you celebrating with you. Just that excitement. I lean into that as you get closer. It only happens once during your your SFL career, and it is quite an experience. Definitely.
Yeah, and I'm gonna piggyback off that. Yeah, the best experience I remember of last season is Ernest being in the green room, Cam putting on the camera, showing that Ernest is still there, waiting and waiting and waiting. And when he finally got picked, everyone was overjoyed. Everyone was
Yes.
clapping. Everyone was
Yes.
smiling. This is the experiences that we love. And Ernest, love you, man. I'm glad you got drafted. I'm glad you got to play in the pros. We'll see. We'll see where it goes from there because it's gonna be fun no matter what you do.
That's awesome. I appreciate all the love in the chat as well. Angela, do you have any questions for us?
Oh boy.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh god. Hmm.
You've been in this chat the whole time and you didn't think I had any questions?
No, I'm dealing with our dog upstairs. What do you expect?
Speaking of dogs, is Derek in the doghouse tonight?
Well, the cage is downstairs where he's at, so I mean, he can just stay down there if he wants.
Wait,
And I'll just have the dog sleep in the night.
maybe Angela can ask the question of will the Vikings ever win a Super Bowl? Maybe she can answer that question.
I probably could, and I already know the answer to that, and I don't want to answer it.
That's okay.
No.
We don't have much choice oftentimes with who our football team is of choice, right? It's
I know.
so much you're bred and born into that some way.
Yeah, it's a Minnesota curse because I mean, look at the Timberwolves. What happened to them? Look at the Wild. Look what happened to them. And now, yeah, I don't want to talk about the Vikings right now. It's not August yet.
Yeah. You get enough of that between August and January.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have any other topics? Anybody have any questions?
Well, I'm going to give a shout out because I don't think
Okay.
we did it at all. To the expansion teams that made it, that actually, I want to give a shout out to Chad, Loveless, and yourself, Axel, Ethan, and David Horrells with you, and KJ, Adam Chance, and Andy, I believe, Wiseman. I believe is his name from Denver. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe that's who's with Chad. I'm a little drinking. Don't ask me for names.
Drinking.
Names are no good. Yeah, see how good I am with voices. We're talking. But congratulations to you guys for actually making an expansion team.
I was impressed by all of the graphics and logos and stuff. Looks phenomenal.
Yeah, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Chad. Adam Wiseman. There you go.
Yeah, I'd agree. There's so much effort and camaraderie, and I think it just felt good, especially now for those that have been successful in great welcoming in the owners chat, by the owners feeling starting to build the rapport and getting comfortable in these new big shoes that we're standing in. It's really exciting and also slightly terrifying. So,
hanging on your ivory tower there, Axel.
I'll be sending out some Zeus thunderstorms or lightning bolts soon. No. Shout out, stay safe, Nathaniel Diggs, on your drive back. Hope it was a good soccer game out there.
Yep, and once again, Nathaniel Diggs, if you come to my games, I will call you daddy. Just throw that out there.
Sorry.
This has really gone after dark all of a sudden.
Pause. I took your. Anyways, I have a dirty mind. Don't mind me. I can shut it off pretty well. Yeah, right. So Derek, what you just said made me just I don't know.
No, it was supposed to be taken that way. It's fine.
No, I meant like use the C word in there, and I'm like, oh, you got to record your games, and then later on, Nathaniel will be, yeah, we'll just leave it there.
Thank you for putting the imagery in my mind. Thank you very much.
Least I could do, Matthias. Sorry.
This is the after.
Not the worst thing.
This is the after dark of the after dark. No,
it's like 3 a.m. and we're just stumbling to our cars, and just fall asleep on the lawn. You said, Derek, you're
the Twilight Zone, as I shall say.
Derek, you said you're interested in getting clover instead of grass for your house at some point in the future.
I would love to. I would love to get clover instead of grass. The maintenance. It's expensive, but the maintenance is so easy. You don't need to mow it. I would love it, and it would be beautiful.
Awesome.
I think your wife has a say in this, right?
No, it's the lawn. The lawn is mine.
All right. Any questions do you guys have? I'm trying to think. Daniel, I know
Daniel
again.
hasn't asked a question yet. Daniel hasn't asked a
oh.
single question yet.
I was going to ask Daniel, not really to ask him because it's just something that many people that Daniel, know about you, where you're from, and I know you've shared it in the past, but it'd be great to where are you from, Daniel?
Oh yes. So do you want me to do it in the accent or what? Because people won't understand what I'm going to say. Hey, how you getting on, boys? How you going down, me sons, me duckies? I'm from Bay Bulls, Newfoundland. How are you going, by? How's everything going today, by? So I'm from Bay Bulls, Newfoundland, Canada.
Cool.
That's a bit of an accent in how we do say things where I'm from, but I don't try and bring out that accent where I'm from, here at the very least.
Yeah.
So I'm on a tiny little island off the east of Canada. We have our own weird, freaking, I hate it, time zone, but it's unique. We're an hour and a half ahead of Eastern time. Yes, I said that right. An hour is in there. Only place that has it. And we don't have football where I'm from. We play hockey, basketball, and maybe a little bit of lacrosse. That is Canada's national sport, don't you know?
I didn't know that. That's actually interesting. I would have assumed it was. I don't know. I don't know that much about lacrosse, but I had assumed it was like a European or Australian thing, but Canadian.
It's apparently a Canadian thing, believe it or not.
Over
hockey.
It's Native American.
The only sport that actually originated in the Americas.
Wow.
It's a Native American sport.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
and
pretty
as
cool.
You know, a lot of Canada was Native American soil.
Yeah.
Very indigenous. Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you, Daniel.
Jason wants a syrup chug. You want me to go get some maple syrup in a shot glass, bro?
No, I don't know if that would go over well. There is. Are you familiar with the breakfast shot, Daniel?
I don't think I am. Please tell me what it is.
I think it's a shot of butterscotch schnapps, which has like a buttery maple syrup. You could probably just do it with maple syrup if you really wanted to. And then you've got, I think, an orange juice chaser, and you've got a bacon chaser.
Sounds delicious.
It's like breakfast. Like you've got like the syrup taste. You've got the bacon at the very end. You've got a little bit of orange juice. It's not bad. Jameson with an OJ. Okay.
As long as there's no waffles, because waffles are terrible. Let's just be honest.
No, waffles are not terrible. You cruel
We're
man.
gonna have this debate again, really.
So here's my thing.
We're not going to say your thing. You're going to say pancakes are better than waffles, and that is a total lie.
The person that invented waffles.
Depends on the situation, the place, and every other variable involving that.
Butter isn't
There's some
spread
places
well
that
enough.
do pancakes better, some places do waffles better. I personally am on the pancake side, but here we are.
Thank you. Or biscuits and gravy. Let's go biscuits and gravy. I mean, if you're gonna have
fair point. Let's throw that argument out the
There
window.
we go.
No, there's two of them.
Where I'm from, biscuits and gravy is not even a thing. So
Well, that sounds
a uniquely American thing.
I don't want to live in Canada ever then if there's no biscuits and gravy there.
They just have French fries and gravy.
They just have poutine. They just put.
It's breakfast poutine is what it is.
Oh no. Okay, Diggs. Crepes are very good, especially dessert crepes. They are a whole different ball game right there.
Crepes are they're versatile. Crepes are versatile. You can put anything on those things.
You can replace like a soft taco with those things.
I don't know if you would replace a taco with a crepe, but I know you could do savory crepes.
I'm going to do that. That's my goal now. I'm making a crepe taco.
So whatever happened to this train? We're got off course. We're not even going and talking about topics anymore. It's great. I love it.
I imagine like
after dark for a reason.
Yeah. Derek, I can imagine you like hosting like, oh yeah, come on over. We're hosting like Super Bowl or like the SFL championship. Invite people over for a taco bar and just literally have just a stack of crepes there.
If you went to a party and there was supposed to be tacos and there was crepe tacos, would you be upset? I wouldn't be.
No, I don't think I would be. No, tacos
Sure,
are just
I'd
too
probably
good.
have to use multiple crepes to make an actual stable taco shell, but yeah, it'll be perfectly fine.
It's like you can call it fusion or something like that, right? A little French, a
That's
little.
fusion food. Perfect.
It's a new trend. we could start.
Someone said in chat, "Turn around and leave." That's what they would do.
We could start a food truck, like an SFL brand food truck or something, and go to the cities where they're at. We could have tailgates. Why don't we start tailgating in random parking lots? We could just have like for the and watch the games. People bring big screen TVs and we watch them in the parking lot.
That would be fantastic. Could you imagine the people showing up and going, "What are you guys doing?"
We're here for the tailgate, and we're just out there grilling brats and things.
It's fun enough sometimes to explain the SFL to people. I can't imagine people showing up to a tailgate and going, "What are you watching?"
We'll create pamphlets to hand out and things.
That would probably be the best thing to do.
That'd be pretty fun, though. Actually, it would be, for like, Detroit team. So come July for week 3 or something like that. Oh, it's a home game. Let's go to the local True Value parking lot in Detroit. I don't know. I'm just guessing a place. No idea. But let's all meet there. We'll just have a tailgate. Could be fun.
Okay, who's gonna pay for my plane ticket?
Crepes could be made into pizza dough or pizza crust. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of something.
Put the line down on the tacos. I think you overstretched by saying pizza.
No, the best thing to use as pizza crust is naan. You get some naan and it makes the perfect pizza crust.
Never really thought about that. I say that.
It's also cheaper than buying like pre-made pizza crust at like Walmart or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's genius.
So we're gonna have a new so-called cooking with meerkats.
Yeah.
Derek, I want to make you jealous. Tonight I made chicken tikka masala, but we did not have naan. But it would be.
Why would you make it without naan? Come on.
We didn't have any.
Not about tortilla chips.
Yeah, I made tacos, but I didn't have any tortillas.
That's funny. Those are both very good analogies. Absolutely, I'm having kind of fun. I hope everybody's getting a kick out of this.
There's an Indian place where I live, Axel, that you need to go with me sometime too.
Okay.
We're just gonna leave it at that. You're not gonna mention the name or anything.
You don't have to.
India Palace. It's called India Palace.
I think every town has one called that. I think up in Roseville here in Minnesota, there's a India Palace as well.
It's like saying a place called China Buffet. There's almost a place like that everywhere.
There is a place called China Buffet where I live as well.
Or a place like Subway.
Pretty much next town over for me. Yeah.
No, I agreed. I'd have to say agreed with Ty there. Non pizza sounds good. Yeah.
Don't call it naan bread, please. Anyone who calls it naan bread, you're calling it bread. And you should never call it naan bread.
It's like saying
He's
chai
making
tea.
fun of me because that's what I do.
Yes, you do.
He's making fun of me because that's what I do.
That's all right.
Someone's really in the doghouse now.
And I heard her say cage. Does she mean that's the doghouse? That's
is
that just like, oh, yep, that's Derek's cave.
I've had enough to drink at this point. I can probably sleep wherever. Doesn't matter.
Oh, I like that Jason ATM machine because it just means automatic teller machine.
Yep.
See, there's this thing. I know it's prevalent in Wisconsin. I don't know if other states have it, but have you ever heard of a time machine?
They have time machines there?
it's spelled TYME. Take
Okay.
your money anywhere, but it said time machine, and
I
it
got
confuses a lot of other staters because you're
Yeah, I
like,
got
yeah,
really
I get the
excited.
time machine, and wait a minute.
I
Where's
got
the
really excited. I was like, "Where is this? I want to go there."
You can take your time because by the time you get there, you can just jump back in time.
Probably.
Daniel, have you been playing basketball recently, Daniel? Have you gotten out, or you just? I know that you enjoy walking, which is great.
Yeah, I've been enjoying walking. Basketball, we're still waiting to hear back. They're definitely doing a winter league. We're just waiting to see if there's a summer league to get our team involved back into it. As people don't know, I used to play basketball all through high school, all the way up. From
You can
grades.
dunk on some fools. Yep.
I used to be a center. I couldn't dunk. I'm a white man. I can jump probably an inch or two off the ground, and that is my vertical, and it's not very good. But I'm a big
I don't want
man.
to talk about basketball right now, Daniel. You know why? You
And I
know
can
why,
shoot the
man?
three.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
want to
keep
talk about
going.
basketball.
I'm gonna keep going because we're not talking about the Celtics, okay? We're just gonna leave the Celtics alone, and we're just gonna move on. I used to coach basketball as well after I finished high school, and now even as an old man, I still try and play basketball. And yes, friends, we have both seasons, but only the 2 seasons. There's no other seasons here.
So in your warmer season, I remember you have a lot of birds and birdhouses and things around your property. Is that right?
Yeah, and I got a goddamn woodpecker trying to beat out the birds' houses as we speak every morning at 5 a.m. while people are trying to sleep. I mean, what?
He really grinds your gears.
Oh my god, going out and shouting at him 5 in the morning. People think I'm crazy outside.
I also think you're crazy.
I mean, I am a little bit, just a tiny bit. Who is my team? I'm a all Boston everything, along with a certain Meerkat here, and we were very
Yes.
disappointed at the Celtics, who only scored 14 points in the third quarter, while
Also
Jimmy
disappointed with
Butler
the Bruins.
scored
And I think that,
17.
like, happy that the Celtics only won that many points as a Bucks fan. That's just revenge.
Okay, you're
For us
supposed to
losing
cheer. You're supposed to cheer for the team that beat you because then it makes you look better if they win. Be like,
Fair
well, we
point,
lost
but
to the
still.
championship team. So I mean, what can you do?
And yes,
Fair
friends,
point.
that is 3:30 a.m. Eastern. Thank you for doing the time zone math for us. That was me shouting at birds at 3:30 in the morning in Eastern.
That's funny. Derek, you're in Minnesota, actually, just a little bit
Yes.
south of me.
Born and raised. Yep.
Awesome. Cool.
I
And-
well, I come from what's called Greater Minnesota. They call it Greater Minnesota because it's better than the metro area. So
But boom. That's awesome. I grew up right on the border of Minnesota, Wisconsin, on the Scotty
That's
side.
that's why you're a Packers fan, huh?
That is my stepdad was a big Packer fan when I was, in the ripe old age of 10, 11, 12, 13. That's sort of when you're forming your football identity and which team
Yep.
you support. I did have, I guess Matthias probably won't appreciate this. I don't know. I did have a Wisconsin Badgers Madison starter jacket. That was pretty cool in 1996. Yeah.
I had for some reason and maybe people who are also in their mid 30s can attest to this. I feel like everybody had a Charlotte Hornets starter jacket. I don't know. I had one. I know a bunch of people that had one, and it's just a thing. Charlotte Hornets starter jacket.
You haven't seen it everywhere yet. I haven't seen it. So it also doesn't help that I'm a lot younger than all of you.
I still remember. I love Muggsy Bogues out there for the Hornets. I want to say he was like 5'8", but he was out there.
It's funny to watch an old film of him. It's like everyone else looks like they're giants.
And he's just like a mouse in between their legs, like. Woo, woo, wah, woo, wah.
Yeah. So if anybody's curious, the reason why I'm a Boston sports fan, nobody in my family watched sports when I was a kid. Nobody. So I originally started watching baseball, became a big Red Sox fan, and then I was like, well, I might as well just cheer for every team in the area because I felt weird saying I'm a fan of this team over here, this team over here. So I just went all Boston.
I can understand that. Like, I didn't have my family growing up when I was, the impressionable, single digit and just barely double digit child. Nobody really cared that much about baseball. We didn't really watch the Twins. I remember watching during, again, those formative years, watching the Phillies take the championship, the pennant. I remember getting my mom being willing to spend $50, $60 on a fitted Phillies hat, and I was like, so like, yes, really into them. And I remember that similar time, I think the Florida State Seminoles were doing good. Trying to get all the cool apparel that you can get back then. I had like the super fancy Converse gel in 7th grade. But again, trying to beg my parents to like spend $80 on a pair of shoes was like, nope. But
I had a Georgetown Hoyas hat for some reason. I don't know where I got it, but that was when Georgetown was good, and I was apparently a fan of Georgetown, even though I didn't watch college basketball at all.
that's funny.
Because I had a weird phase that even though born raised Milwaukee fan, I had a weird period where I was a Mets fan. I don't know why.
I'm sorry.
Just I did. But trust me, I feel sorry for even now with the all the Wisconsin teams. We make it to the playoffs and we fail in the playoffs.
That NFC Championship games, man.
Please don't remind me of that. I'm still grieving over that.
I was brainwashed as a kid. Where I'm to, you're either a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, a Montreal Canadiens fan, or a Boston fan. And the household is a Boston community, and as you can tell by my back here, there's a whole bunch of Boston Bruins insignia. If I could actually maybe try and show a little bit, if I can look at the camera, if you guys can see it.
I see it. Yep.
That is a Boston light right there.
Wow.
Nice.
Along with the Boston logo in the back. So I got it from all sides.
Steal it from you. I'm gonna go up there and steal it from you.
So I've been trying to type Discord in there so that people, if they want to join. Hey, Jason. Sounds like
hey, took you long enough.
You put the invite out.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. Yeah, we're just chilling out, having some drinks. I need to pour myself another one.
Hey, Daniel.
Speaking of, don't spill it on your computer this time.
Yeah.
Speaking of Toronto, Daniel, did you hear that they have a record now for they lost 5 straight game 7 series?
Yeah, and what team started that trend, Derek? Can you tell me?
I don't know.
I think it might have been a certain Boston Bruins.
Oh yeah. I can't imagine the pain of watching your team go to 5 in a row game 7s and lose every single game 7.
And you're talking about me being cursed? Come on, it's literally the Toronto Maple Leafs are cursed.
Maybe it's Canadians that are cursed. I don't know.
Oh God, we're just all cursed. That's why we don't notice.
Welcome, Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. You're in the middle of a drive.
No, we stopped to pick a couple things up at the gas station.
Cool.
Still in Kentucky right now. We got probably another 5 hours, but I wanted to give you guys some love for a second. Tell you guys my back's hurting after sitting this long. 6 hours now, and maybe if y'all took a drink for me, it might ease some of that pain. But,
this one's for you, Nathaniel.
I got you covered, man.
It didn't work. Take another one. No, no, but I'll get back to listening to you guys. We're gonna get back on the road, but yeah, thanks for doing this and help me stay awake.
You bet. Happy to be here. Safe driving.
Should I start yelling really loud to keep you awake?
No, don't yawn. It's contagious.
No.
Okay.
I'll holler at you tomorrow.
Jason,
just acknowledge for a second how amazing it is watching the wheels fall off of this show so progressively.
I know, right? I'm just doing a little drinking,
I'm doing my best to keep the wheels on.
Fine. I can't tell what point we hit the Fuck, my words are escaping me. Sorry.
It's
Hit
like
that.
that. I'll show for us.
It was about
Everyone's
45.
doing great. Everyone's doing
started
great. I have to deal with the aftermath though of Derek. So
It started
This is-
falling apart about 45 seconds before Axel decided to bathe in his beverage.
Number 7. Cheers.
And I have been here for the entire thing.
Enjoy. Just drink it in. Just enjoy it.
Oh.
We are.
You come to see at the house.
If any of you think that I'm sober along with you, then you are mistaken.
Good, we got another
Am I
one
the
to
only
the
one
party.
that's sober? Am I the only one?
Well, I think Angel's sober still.
I'm sober. I'm taking care of Chloe.
Maybe I can get
Understandable.
Angela. Maybe I can get Angela to call me in sick for work tomorrow.
I don't have work tomorrow, so yeah. I just gotta wake up at 5 a.m. for a woodpecker.
Yeah.
I hope that bird wakes you up at like 4 a.m.
Don't
tomorrow morning.
Don't. It
That would
actually
be-
has been getting earlier and earlier each week, so I'm expecting a 4 a.m. bird call.
Remember, folks, that would be 2:30 Eastern.
Exactly, 2:30 Eastern.
You thought birds were bad. Imagine living on the flight path of an airport.
Oh, been there. I grew up that way.
Oh, I'm living in it currently.
Oof.
So we're all gonna drive. We're all gonna fly up to Daniel's place and go out and outside and go caw caw like all morning long. Tomorrow morning. Perfect.
Just yell,
Only if you buy me the plane ticket.
just yell at it.
And he's seen me open the door saying, "Get off my lawn, you crazy kids!" With a shotgun, ready to go.
Yeah. So, Jason, what is your favorite team? Or do you have an area?
Oh, I can say his favorite team is the Minnesota Legend now.
There you go. There you
Congratulations
go.
on being GM.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So you guys have kind of been all over the scope of things. What league do we want to focus on?
Let's do.
Go nuts.
All right.
At this
So,
point.
I am a lifelong Broncos fan. As far as my NFL team is concerned, through the ups, the downs, and the absolute gutter times, I've been a Denver fan since I was 6 years old, so I ain't stopping at this point. I don't give much of a shit about basketball at all, so that covers that. I am a Brewers fan through and through. Absolutely. And then the little bit of hockey that I still watch, I would consider myself a Red Wings fan.
He's just all over the board on this one.
I am.
It's like-
And
Nice to run into another Brewers fan in this board. Okay.
it's odd to run into another Brewers fan anywhere, particularly in eastern Nebraska where I am. So
I will say
yeah.
I don't like the Brewers, but I think they have a cool stadium.
Yeah.
It's a nice little place if you don't mind all the drunk tailgaters after the game and all the Cubs fans who decided to call it Wrigley Field North. But
You're in Wisconsin. You're in Milwaukee. What do you expect to see?
Yeah, literally, doesn't Wisconsin have like out of the top 10 drunkest cities, they have like 7 out of 10 or something?
Oh yeah.
yeah, 7 out of 10. The other two like in North Dakota, if I remember right.
North Dakota.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
Now the fun challenge is to pronounce all those town names without missing one.
Yeah. Good luck. You need to be from there or an impressionist to make that happen.
I have a
I'm the one
question.
from there.
I have a question for you, Matthias. Why is all these road names in Wisconsin named after the letters?
Could you clarify?
I went to Wisconsin and like in Minnesota, it's all numbers. It's like this avenue, this street, whatever. Out in the country, it's like a bunch of different just letters, like Road A.
Oh, like County Road A, County Road B.
County Road A,
Are you
County Road
talking about
B.
that?
It's odd.
I think it's just from the leftovers of the county highway system, if I remember right. I'm not an expert in everything.
I was.
It's because we know how to spell in Wisconsin, Derek.
Well, you know what they do in Wisconsin is they call puddles lakes to try to have more lakes than Minnesota. That's what they do.
Starting
in
to see
Wisconsin.
more lakes again. You say 10,000 lakes. We have more than you, buddy.
well, because you call lakes ponds lakes. Also, Minnesota has Lake. What's that? Axel Lake. Chipotle Lake.
Really?
It's literally yeah. It's there's
Is it
a
sponsored?
there's a Chipotle parking lot that has a. It's so busted up that it's got a big puddle in it constantly, and they call it a lake. And there's like a sign on it that says Chipotle Lake.
That's funny. Only in Minnesota.
So we're into the deep tracks part of the night, huh? Where everybody just pulls out their most random knowledge that they know.
Oh,
Pretty
this
much,
this
yeah,
went off the
yeah.
rails about
Like,
My
I didn't even
knowledge is that I am
mention
not
my
book
town.
smart. I am not street smart. I am a I'll win you $100 at bar trivia night smart. That's what
Awesome.
I am.
the best kind of people. You're my kind of people then.
You want to hear a good old Newfie joke? If you
Okay,
want to
let's hear it.
travel here in Newfie, you want to go to these towns. I'm going to list them in order, okay? You want to go to Dildo, then you're going to come by chance, and you're going to end up at Sunnyside. These are actual names of towns in Newfoundland.
I feel like you needed to do the accent to make it funny.
I probably did, yeah. Funny to me, okay? I'm going to go have another drink.
I've heard some people. I forgot what comedian made a joke similar to this, but it was like almost all the town names in Wisconsin were made by a drunk guy on Scrabble.
Probably.
I mean,
Because
Sheboygan.
we got town names like Ashwaubenon, Kekani, Oconomowoc, all that.
Sheboygan. Let's just stop there.
Sheboygan.
Sheboygan.
It's
Yeah, Sheboygan.
I'm too drunk for that word. It's gonna be funny to me. I'm gonna keep saying it.
Oh no, it's funny. You are more than entitled to do so.
Sheboygan.
And then our capital is the most generic Madison.
And nowhere close to the rest of the population zone.
Literally, it's
Dead center of the state.
I'll give you
because
I'll give you some
Oh, you go ahead.
Minnesota trivia. The capital of Minnesota wasn't supposed to be St. Paul. It was supposed to be St. Peter, Minnesota, but somebody changed it and made it St. Paul. True story.
A very smart person. Because you're down in like Mankato, St. Peter's area, right? My sister.
Yeah, I'm about 15 minutes, maybe less than that, to St. Peter. Yeah.
My sister went to school for like a year in Gustavus Adolphus, which is down in, I believe, in St. Peter.
Yep.
Random Nebraska trivia: Kool-Aid was invented here.
Ooh.
Oh.
Did you?
I mean, at least you got something.
That's about it.
You also have a really. I've been to the zoo down in Omaha, and it is an amazing zoo.
So it is actually rated the #1 zoo in America, and at one point was the #1 zoo in the world until Tokyo did some stuff to theirs, and now we're like #2 or 3 in the world.
It's a phenomenal zoo. I went there and I enjoyed it.
And that's
Very
actually the area that I mean, I don't live in the area of the zoo, but the zoo is like 15 minutes from me.
When I went to Omaha, it actually was the first time I ever went to a Quaker Steak and Lube, and it is a delicious place to eat at.
So you were in Council Bluffs, Iowa, but I won't blame you for not
Probably.
knowing.
Well, no, but when I went down there.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Man, I missed it because the closest location I used to have closed down like 2-3 years ago. It was like a good half hour away from where I am.
Don't worry, the one here did too.
Yeah. But yeah, random Wisconsin and Milwaukee trivia fact that most people don't know, because when you think of Milwaukee, you think of cheap beer. But the modern QWERTY keyboard was invented here.
I love that word, by the way, QWERTY. Every time I see it, I have to say it like 3 times. QWERTY.
It's
I'm going to correct you on the when you think of Milwaukee statement, because when I think of Milwaukee, I think of the Spy restaurant that I can't ever remember the name of.
Spy House.
Yes.
Not to say that it's been a long time since I've ever approached there, but it's a good little place.
Milwaukee's the only place like north of like Oklahoma that has a Church's Chicken. Just saying.
My favorite connection to Milwaukee is Wayne's World reference when Alice Cooper was like, actually, pronunciation is Milwaukee, and it goes on with
native-
some.
The native Algonquins.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love that
Algonquin
scene.
for the good land.
I love that scene.
Milwaukee.
Yeah. There's that. We're the only town to have had 3 consecutive mayors who were socialists. At one point in the 60s, we were the 10th largest city in America, but then 3 out of the 4 breweries decided to ditch town, and now we only have left with 1.
That's all you guys got in Wisconsin, the breweries, though. Come on.
Well, it doesn't help that we got most of the Germans when the
cheese.
immigrants came here.
And cheese, but I will say that Wisconsin cheese is usually just like fair cheese,
We make
cheese
some pretty
curds.
good cheese. We have a castle dedicated for cheese. Hold on.
Canada has some good cheese, Daniel. I will say
Hold
that.
on a sec.
Yeah, we have some good cheese over here too. I think I would like to try some Wisconsin cheese, honestly.
Is
'Cause I
Canadian
haven't-
cheese just all sweet?
A little bit can be.
No,
See,
well,
that was a maple syrup joke, Daniel. You missed it.
I'm missing everything. You know this. I showed my bald head on screen earlier.
God,
Do you want me to do any more?
could you imagine
That
maple
may be
syrup
my
cheese?
profile picture in the next couple of days, by the way.
Oh, perfect. Great.
Can I rub your bald head, Daniel? I want
You
to rub your
can.
bald head.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Reach in. Go ahead. Here you go.
If any more questions, is there any more questions in the chat? I think everybody just left chat probably.
Axel left for a while too, so it's okay.
I had to get another beer. This one, maybe BJ. I think this is a it's Goose Island 312 beer from, I believe, Chicago. It's a good one. One of my faves.
I am running out of beers now, so
Maybe you should pour them into your mouth instead of into your lap.
that would be Axel. Not me.
I just meant in general, but yes, also Axel.
I'm trying. I did good this time. I did really good this time.
We're proud of you, Axel.
You
Thank
got
you.
this, Axel, buddy. I believe in you.
Right.
New owner for the Minnesota Legend, by the way.
I mean, are you really representing Minnesota if you're not coming on a show and then getting drunk out of your chair?
Very true. This is par for the course, really.
Absolutely. Really. I mean,
But to be honest, this is the time of the year where Minnesotans emerge from their houses because weather is finally warming up.
And then being forced to mow the lawn.
Yeah, I actually mowed the lawn. I was gonna do no mow May, but then I looked at the lawn. I'm like, I can't. I gotta mow this. This is gonna get too bad.
I was supposed to mow mine tonight and decided to drink instead. So
I
You're
don't
here.
blame you. That sounds like a much
You
better
made the right
idea.
choice.
I like when they merge together. As in watching the wife mow while I'm drinking a beer.
attaboy.
Mowing lawn and drinking is fine. I don't think I would use a weed whacker and drink. That might cause some issues. But
The leaf blower might get a little bit interesting too. Gentlemen, I enjoyed being on your show. Thank you for letting me jump into your voice chat completely unannounced. I'm gonna take off and hopefully let you guys wrap up your evenings as well.
All right.
Yeah, no problem. We'll love to have you actually officially on at some point.
I would love to do that.
we always need some more beautiful people on this show.
Then I'll try to find you one, sir. All right, gentlemen and Angela, have a good night.
See you later, Jason.
Good night.
I don't know if Angela's still listening or not.
We can only find
I'm
out.
still-
Oh,
There
she's
she
here.
is. I just found out.
I'm still here.
She's keeping an eye on you, Derek, at this point, okay?
I
You're in your
have
like
to.
7th or 8th beer. She got to keep an eye on you.
Oh, I know.
7.5.
He's gonna be just a hoot to take care of later.
It's one of those things where you just realize, you just think about how great you're gonna sleep. You know, think about how great it is to sleep when you're like this.
3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah.
I'm like an entire like duvet, not. I like your idea, Jordan. That we just hang in here until the entire chat leaves and vacates for the night.
Until the entire chat just goes, I'm done.
No, I feel
Somebody-
like I'm gonna be done before the entire chat because of my time zone. But thanks.
Yeah. It's 10:30. No, 11:30 where you're at, right?
It is 11:30 where I
You-
am.
Nope, you already said you don't work tomorrow, Daniel. That's not an
That's true.
excuse.
But I am gonna be up at 5 a.m. We already know what's happening at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna be outside your house going caw caw.
Fucking woodpeckers on. Oh, I cursed. Apologize for the curse.
See, you do curse.
I do
This-
curse. I don't curse very often, but I do curse. The woodpeckers breaking 2 houses on me, so I gotta keep an eye on either of them.
He only curses when he gets really angry about woodpeckers.
It's true.
It's-
God dang woodpeckers.
That's what really grinds Daniel's gears is woodpeckers.
This week, it's been that, yeah. Maybe next week I'll actually do a grind my gears on an actual minor league or something. Who knows?
We'll see.
I'll grind my gears on what's going on with Annapolis. That's my gears to grind.
I hear the gears. They're grinding.
They are grinding.
And maybe it has to do with maybe Squarebush is a machine and his gears are grinding. So therefore,
that's what it is.
he's like the Terminator, but just not a good one, or one that's been
Or maybe
in rain and is rusty.
or maybe they're relying too much on Squarebush because I think he's had like 22 plus carries every week.
With
There's
someone
more
like
match.
Squarebush, you got. I mean, and especially if he has like workhorse, you got to feed him the ball to get that going, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But
Well, there's
Yeah.
quarterbacks in the game too. I'm not going to be too harsh on him.
no, and yeah, that's the thing is like all these teams are putting in a lot of effort, and I just want to say kudos to
100%.
everybody. Your effort. Many of the players themselves may not know. You're putting at least 6, 10, 12 hours a week into simming and game planning, turning in your playbook at 11:52 at night, Thursday night, the day before the game. Busting your hump
Or
to
if
try to
you're,
get
or
that
if you're
win.
Ethan, you don't sleep. I'm not sure if he sleeps. I think he just sims
He's just like
24/7.
he's like the Matrix, where he just connects right into his like PS3 or Xbox. I don't know. If
Actually, I did have a question for you, Axel. All-Star game for the minor leagues. Is that still going to be happening this season?
It may not happen during the regular season, just because of the time with everything going on with new ownership and other things. This may have been a perfect night to do that. But
I was thinking that too.
yeah, it takes about like 2 or 3 weeks to a week and a half or so, 2 weeks to get it prepared and ready for broadcast and voting out. Last season in November, I didn't have a lot of stuff going on, but there's so much going on extra now that I would have needed to start a week and a half ago to be able to have done it. But I'm hoping that after the draft or maybe it's around the time of the championship game, maybe it's the day before, or sometime around that time. It'd be great. If you guys want to remind me 2 weeks beforehand, we can start getting things going. In like week 6 or so, we can start getting a poll out there, because it's voted on by the players, by the community, who makes the prospect poll.
We can
So-
do like a Pro Bowl type thing where it's like the week of the championship game or something.
Yeah, we could. I think if the championship's either on a Wednesday or a Friday or something, we either do it like the Monday or Thursday before or something like that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can make an evening out of it. Would be a lot of fun. And again, it's just sort of the people voted in at the different positions for each side of the ball, split down the middle based on location, east versus west kind of thing. Should be fun.
Yeah, and just for people who might not know, the Prospect Bowl is something Axel does just himself. I help out commentary, and we bring other people along. I believe we had Reno
Yeah.
last time.
Shane Kaufman, I think, joined for a little bit, but then it was I think maybe had some technical difficulties or something.
I'm down to clown. You can count me in.
Yeah, so we just have a good time. It is voted on by the people for the people. So community members pick the people who they think is the best and should be highlighted in this Prospect Bowl. It's just a good time. It really has nothing to do with SFL in general, except that we're trying to give them another piece of what the pros is like, kind of thing. We're giving them their chance to shine, and playing with other people and just have a good time about it.
It's fun to see. It's fun to be in too. I got voted on last year, and it was.
Yeah, last season was the
nobody.
first time we ever did it.
Nobody likes a bragging Derek Meerkat.
I was excited about it, man. you don't realize how excited I was when I saw my name on there.
That's awesome.
Because Angelo was picked before me, and then it got to the strong safeties, and I was like, "Come on!" And then I saw my name, I'm like, "Yes!"
And you guys were on the same defense, is that right?
Yeah,
that was awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a preview to when we got drafted the same team, but it was the first chance we got to see ourselves on the same defense. It was pretty nice.
That's cool.
So, Axel, I have a question specifically for you because you're probably the best at answering this. Tacoma Quarterback says, any belief you consume too much can lead to too much overthinking. You're the one that's been doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Can you sim too much? Without talking about the second question, yes, you can sim too much. But also, does it lead to overthinking? I think it can. I think, and this is sort of what's happened with me. If you start seeing some consistency in the games, and you're like, you know what? All right, maybe it's Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday. And you're like, yep, I'm seeing really this is sort of the playbook that I want to use. And then you sim over and over again without really changing anything. But you're like, yep, the more data you get in, the easier it is. And thankfully I work from home, so I get to have my gaming computer set up next to me while I'm working, even in Zoom calls. Don't tell my employer. And so I'll be watching, the games play over here as they take an hour and a half each, 90 minutes per game, per sim. Can you overthink it if you get into the nitty gritty and you're like, it's all about probability. If you sim the same playbook 10 times, how successful was it? Was it 50%, 60%? Are you seeing the third down completion percentages where you want it? Are you seeing the type of run play versus pass play? How are you doing in the first half versus second half? Is your scoring, broken out nicely between first, second, third, fourth quarters? Or is it like really heavy in a certain spot kind of thing? Those are all things that you sort of watch as you're simming. And if you're seeing consistency and you're like, yep, I kind of like this. This is sort of gives us the best chance this weekend for what they're probably going to be throwing at us or what we've seen from the opposing team. And you just sort of, a lot of times, you just go up until like Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening until you're like, yep, I've just kept simming the same thing. And, but I think, if you're not liking it, sometimes you have to take a step away or, it might be like, yeah, I need to just take a break for 24 hours and step away and come back, and pick it back up. But it's a good question there, T, as well. Do you need to know football to scout? I don't think you really do, because at least in the example, the tutorial I put out there, you don't need to have the game itself. There's most of, I'd say 90 to 95% of the plays that you need to know, both on offense and defense, are out there in a Google Drive, which is great. You have great access, whether that's even on your phone. I've done scouting before on my phone with YouTube up, the Google Drive up to look at the plays, and then a Google Doc up to be able to capture. You can do that right there, or computer is a little bit easier, but you don't need to have the game. You don't need to know the football. You just need to be able to watch the players, because the play itself shows, hey, this is the lineup of the people. If you start to understand, it might even help you understanding the different positions and where they line up. and you watch where do they go? Do they run? Do they do a little hook at the end? Where do they go into a little post or a little corner route? And you're just sort of like looking at what you see in the game to what you might see in the plays, and you just sort of try to find the match. And that's pretty much what scouting is. So,
the cool thing too is to speak to T. DeQueen a little bit. Going into this last season, with me being on Mexico City as a nickel, in the nickel spot, Angela did not know what a nickel was and dime was, but she learned to watch for that. So it's one of those things where you may not know certain things right away, but the more you watch, the more you try to look at things, the more you'll understand things a lot better.
100%, because I am in a similar boat of not knowing anything about football when I first started. And in the Tulsa locker room, when me and France were talking voice chat all the time, I can pick out specific defenses and how this would affect the offense now and how it would be beneficial for us. And I can call interceptions before it happens now. So I've been learning as well. I was in the same boat as UT, and over time you learn stuff just by picking, choosing what you see.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just getting exposure. It's exposure therapy. The more you're diving in with a little bit more of that extra detail, that stuff will start to stick, and it'll become much like Eddie Gage, where or Damon DR, watching. It's almost like they're watching the Matrix happen when they're watching games. They're like, oh, yep, that's cover 4 or cover 3 week or something like that. It's interesting. So yeah, if you have time on your hands, it's not like the most fancy thing to do. It's not like, oh wow, toot your horn, big flag stuff. But it's super valuable for the team you're on. So again, talking with Jalen over there, Johnny and Zach, especially if you're scouting offense is a lot easier to watch and scout what your opponents are playing on offense, and seeing that helps. You can give that to the defensive coordinator so they can sim and look at, they're playing, they ran this play successfully 3 times last game. So then you can plan around what are they playing so that you can create your defensive scheme to combat that.
Yeah, I'll say too that one of the biggest things you can do to get drafted is to learn those kind of things and make yourself more valuable than just a player on the field.
Yeah, again, it's not like rocket science. It just takes time and practice. And when I first started, and I just started in June, July last year, so I'm not even a year in, and it took me, our games are about 90 minutes of playtime. It took me maybe 3.5 hours to scout the offense for a game. It's not like the easiest thing, when you start out, but if you stick with it, it just gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier each time you do it. And the value that it delivers is so significant. So, and to piggyback on that, talking about things that are significant and valuable.
Talking about me, Daniel, or Axel? Talking about me?
Yep, exactly, Derek.
Okay.
Give me a D. Give me a D. E. No, I was going to mention scouting. I know we've mentioned that in previous chats or previous shows. Scouting. I'm not scouting. Why did I say scouting? I meant stats, live stats. That's hugely important, and it's a great opportunity if you by chance do not get drafted. That's an opportunity as a minor league player. Right now, the season is over, so there's no longer that need until the next season starts. But the pros have usually a tandem who is doing stats on the backside. One person is handling the offense of the team that's on the field. The other person's handling the defense that's on the field, and they're just marking things like, number 33 had the ball here, they ran, and it was for 7 yards, and they got a touchdown. So it's just like there's a really fancy spreadsheet behind the scenes. You're just entering this data in based on what you're seeing. That gives all this, it sort of does magic and compiles it at the end that the announcers have in front of them that they can read. So-and-so wide receiver has already gotten 117 yards so far. So it compiles all that you're doing. So it's really and they do a great job of sort of allowing you to shadow and seeing the broadcast. It gets you a little bit of sort of that inside scoop there. Again, Cam being the producer, you get to have some time alongside him, hearing sort of the backside of it, which is really fascinating.
You talked a lot about backsides.
I don't have an answer for you, Derek.
Would you like to plead the fifth on that? I think that's a good time.
Yes, T, it is done live, exactly. There's the two broadcasters that are usually doing. One is play by play, so they're the one that's talking most of the time, and I would say they're calling what the so and so is behind center. There's two wide receivers. That's sort of the play by play. The other person in there in the broadcast booth is the color person, the color commentator. They're adding what we call color, interesting facts or someone to bounce ideas back and forth with the play by play person, and adding, pulling in some of those extra things that the play by play announcer who's watching the game, the color can also can be looking at the stats and getting some of those extra things and adding some of that extra color to the broadcast. And then there's usually, like I said, there's the two stats people doing stats on the backside, just for you, Derek. And then there's usually a showrunner kind of person, I believe, and then Cam is in there as well from the production side, broadcasting, airing it out to the broadcasters and the statisticians, so they're seeing it live like 5 or 6 seconds before it goes live to Twitch, kind of things. I had a chance to sit in, not during the championship, but the week before, and it is quite a production. There's so much professionalism in there. So before working where I'm working now, in a previous career, I'd worked in a multimedia production company, and one of the things that we had done was direct and produce the Jerry Lewis MDA Telethon, the big 24-hour thing for our local Minneapolis-St. Paul region. So it was at the Mall of America, seeing all the different fancy people. I was able to then sit in the production van with the director calling, go camera 3, take camera 5 in 5 minutes, camera 6, go over and get a shot of this, and just watching all of that. It is literally much like that experience. It is such a high production value, high production quality on the backside. It is phenomenal, like a well-oiled machine. So, yes, Jason talks about the spreadsheet and the thing that they use. It's like you just have to click in there. It is super easy. Someone gives you a 5-10 minute introduction. In fact, last season we had Stephen Hacker on, who gave us a little bit of behind the scenes look at what that spreadsheet looks like. The audio on that isn't quite the greatest, but it might have been, I want to say, in mid-November, so it might have been episode 8 or 9 last season, so you can always go take a look at that as well.
Shout out to that handsome man, Stephen Hacker.
Derek, you said that earlier too with all of us. You appreciate a good handsome fella.
I appreciate a handsome man.
Nothing wrong with that.
A handsome anyone, I appreciate.
Even if she's got hair on her knuckles.
Yep.
And Jason, yes, a well-oiled backside is that the production side of things, correct? It just reminds me of like
an image I need.
It reminds me of like pig wrestling, where I think they oil up or grease up pigs, and you have to go and try to hog tie a pig.
Sounds like a fun time.
That's my Saturday night. Just kidding, it's not.
I hate to say it's Axel, but I think I gotta get going.
No worries.
I think get the daughter to bed.
No worries. Let's call it then. All right. Well, thank you all for sticking around. We've got 10 viewers in there. It says there's probably 2 or 3 in this group right now already. Thank you for our 3 interviews earlier today. Thank you for our 2 co-hosts, Daniel and Derek. Thank you for Jason coming on. We had our interviews again, T, Ty, and Ronnie. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for sticking around for a little bit of just light-hearted humor. a little bit of off the cuff stuff. Hopefully, this sort of sheds any stigma that you might have for coming on. We're willing to make a fool out of ourselves a little bit, so you shouldn't have to worry about that either. We're just such a good, accepting community here. So I really
I've sacrificed my liver for this.
Oh,
So.
R.I.P. Derek's liver.
Yeah.
People now know I'm bald.
Well,
That's the real sacrifice.
I'm bald too. I have longer hair, so it's hard to tell. But there's baldness in there.
We're all on this path to lack of hair. So yeah, I've got like this little sun thing that's happened in the back that I get sunburned on. I need to make sure I put sunscreen on the little spot.
I have learned that recently that you gotta, when you're growing bald, you gotta make sure you put sunscreen on there.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Daniel, again for being here as always, my right hand man. Derek, thank you for coming in here. I love it when you come in here. Gosh, I am. That's, if you have a dirty mind like me, just stop. Don't think.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it, Axel. But
Does someone need to put you to bed?
You're
right
welcome.
now?
I guess.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I hope it was a lot of fun for those that stuck around.
We love you all.
Yes, it's out of appreciation, out of love for you all, out of making sure that we are as inclusive as we can be. There's a place for everyone here, even crazy people like me. So with that, if you have any questions, hit us up. Join our Discord if you want. Link is over there in the chat somewhere. And with that, good Wednesday night. Good night.
See you later, guys.
Good night, guys.